The idea that they classified it as the biggest trial in the history of the... I thought, wow, am I really that important?
And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was at...
I didn't feel that was where our people needed to be at. And we had enough images of us being and, degenerates and unhumanly. I didn't want to contribute.
So, remember when Katt Williams dropped some major bombshells on the Club Shay Shay podcast last year, spilling the tea on some shady business in the industry? Yeah, that was wild. But then he caught a ton of heat for it. Now Wesley Snipes is stepping in, saying it's all unfair and he's ready to have Katt's back. He's even hinting at why Katt's catching all this flack. Things are getting spicy. But do you know Snipes himself also got punished by Hollywood in a form of getting hatred from his peers? How? Wesley Snipes, once a shining star in Hollywood, is now finding himself isolated from his peers. It seems like more and more folks in the industry are hesitant to team up with him. Reports are piling up about this reluctance to collaborate with Snipes, and the list of people not wanting to work with him keeps getting longer. Snipes' reputation has taken a hit lately. Known for his role in Blade, he's gained a rep for being difficult to work with on set, and for some pretty out-there antics off set. Think provocative tweets and even claiming to be Michael Jackson's bodyguard. Seems like Snipes' real-life personality matches the intensity of the superhero roles he's known for.
I didn't exactly know how he was going to sound, and I had just been thinking about it and hoping that something would come, and I just opened my mouth, and there it was.
While the Money Train actor has amassed a share of detractors for simply being Wesley Snipes, he does enjoy camaraderie with certain high-profile figures, exemplified by his endearing bromance with White Men Can't Jump co-star Woody Harrelson. Their close friendship, dating back to their collaboration in the early 90s, was evident when Harrelson wrote a reference letter in support of Snipes during the sentencing phase of his tax evasion trial in 2008. 31 of Snipes' friends submitted character references in support of him. "Wesley is like a tree, a mighty oak," wrote Denzel Washington. Woody Harrelson added, "It is an honor to call Wes my brother." Despite rumors of Wesley Snipes improving his behavior, not everyone in Hollywood is singing his praises. Some big names in the industry still find it tough to deal with him, and one of those names is Ryan Reynolds. Making a Hollywood movie is no walk in the park. The cast, directors, and crew go through crazy schedules, working long hours day after day for months on end to get everything just right. It's intense, and all that pressure and long days can stir up drama behind the scenes. Recent incidents like what went down during the making of Don't Worry, Darling show just how complicated and challenging it can get in the world of filmmaking.
I heard Wesley Snipes talking about a fourth movie, coming back into the game, and I was wondering, would you be interested to do another one, to be back as Hannibal King, or...
No.
Why?
No.
Given the demanding nature of the film industry, it's understandable why certain actors, including Brad Pitt, compile lists of individuals they prefer not to collaborate with again. Ryan Reynolds, in a similar vein, has made the decision to avoid a repeat of the challenging experience he had on the set of Blade: Trinity. As a result, the Deadpool actor has no intentions of working with Wesley Snipes in the future. The intricacies of on-set dynamics and personal experiences can profoundly influence actors' choices when it comes to selecting their future collaborators.
Why?
No, I just don't think so. I've done enough comic book properties. I mean, I would never play another comic book character again.
Before his iconic roles in Deadpool and Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds was part of another superhero film. Blade: Trinity, released in 2004, is the third installment of Marvel's Blade trilogy. Directed and written by David S. Goyer, the film features Wesley Snipes as the vampire-fighting superhero Blade, with a supporting cast including Ryan Reynolds, Jessica Biel, Chris Christopherson, Dominic Purcell, Parker Posey, and WWE wrestler Triple H.
You out of your damn mind?
In this concluding chapter of the superhero trilogy, Blade joins forces with the Night Stalkers, a group of renegade vampire hunters, to thwart none other than Dracula and his army of bloodthirsty vampires, posing a threat to humanity. Despite its promising premise, Blade: Trinity received criticism, earning a 24% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Both critics and fans disapproved of the film's reliance on cliché themes, lackluster plot excitement, and perceived mediocre acting from the cast. The movie's commercial performance reflected this disappointment, opening with just $16 million and accumulating a lifetime gross of a little over $52 million, significantly lower than the box office success of the trilogy's previous entries.
It's in Marvel's hands, and they're controlling the pace and the flow with that. The conference has been good.
Following the disappointment of Blade Trinity, a spin-off series titled Blade the Series emerged in 2006, featuring Kirk Sticky Jones as Blade. Unfortunately, the series faced an early demise, being canceled after just one season comprising 13 episodes. Despite the challenges, Wesley Snipes demonstrated a profound passion for his work, particularly evident in his dedication to the Blade trilogy.
They see the value in it. We see the value in it. I'm still in shape enough and fit enough to handle the roles, so we'll see.
The movie's cinematographer, Theo Van de Sande, revealed to Entertainment Weekly that Snipes exhibited remarkable commitment to the project. However, this dedication often led to conflicts with directors, as well as other cast and crew members. Matters escalated to the point where Snipes sued the production company post-filming, citing issues with withheld payment.
Everything else, it just started working. I had a lot of input in everything, actually. But we have to find something that's practical.
Compounding the challenges, Snipes adopted a method acting approach to portray his character in the movie. He maintained his character's cool and stoic personality between takes, keeping a physical distance from his co-stars, consistent with his character's demeanor. This choice resulted in tension on the set.
And did some innovations on it, brought it up to date, made it chic, made it funky, made it slick and beautiful.
In an effort to counterbalance Snipes' reserved characterization, Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds turned to improvisation to infuse a sense of fun into the filming process. However, Snipes was reportedly displeased with this approach, particularly because Reynolds frequently attempted to break him out of character. Despite potential drama on the set of Blade Trinity, Ryan Reynolds appears to reflect positively on the experience of working on the movie. In a 2012 interview with IGN, Reynolds acknowledged that his involvement in the film provided an opportunity for him to refine his acting skills.
I've done it already, so I don't necessarily, I'm not passionate about Hannibal King the way I'm passionate about Deadpool, so Deadpool to me is like a religion. It means everything to me, so.
One person wrote on his internet, Wesley Snipes' take was memorable and fully formed that it fundamentally changed and shaped the character, much like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man did with the character 10 years later. Another one added, and this right here is where I think they were frustrated with Snipes while working on the film. His input on this franchise changed the outlook on Blade completely. He made a character that was cool into a badass, and his influence is still present today. Interestingly, Reynolds expressed no ill will towards Wesley Snipes, despite any reported on-set conflicts. He conveyed a sense of respect for Snipes, recognizing him as a method actor. Reynolds, however, humorously noted that he never felt he truly met Wesley Snipes. Instead, he felt he only encountered the character of Blade. I never met Wesley, I only met Blade, he shared with IGN. And when asked if it was true that he would often try to make Snipes break character on set, he answered, yes, I did. You know what I found was I just use every moment. There's a moment in the movie where I look up at Jessica and I swear to God, I didn't even know the cameras were rolling anymore, and I say, he hates me, doesn't he? And she's like, yeah. I'm just saying this about my relationship as Ryan Reynolds to this guy, and it works. In recent years, Ryan Reynolds has displayed a willingness to humorously acknowledge his involvement in one of the widely criticized comic book movies of the modern era, Green Lantern. Reynolds, known for his self-deprecating humor, has incorporated jabs at his own Green Lantern film in both of his Deadpool movies. Additionally, he frequently makes light of the movie during interviews.
So Deadpool to me is like a religion. It means everything to me. So, I'm very protective of Deadpool.
Despite the film's less than stellar reception, Reynolds seems to have some fond memories associated with Green Lantern. Notably, he met his wife, Blake Lively, through their involvement in the movie. Contrary to the more lighthearted approach Ryan Reynolds takes toward Green Lantern, his experience making the first comic book movie he starred in, Blade Trinity, appears to have been considerably less enjoyable. Reynolds, known for his wit and verbosity, notably seems to be reluctant to discuss his time working on the film. The discomfort or reluctance to talk about the experience suggests that the production of Blade Trinity may have left a lasting negative impact on Reynolds, making it a subject he prefers to avoid or handle with caution in interviews and public discussions.
Well, someone else could play another, that character. I think it's fine.
Leading up to the release of Blade Trinity in 2004, there was significant speculation in the press about the film serving as the launchpad for a new franchise featuring Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel. However, in the years following the release, discussion discussions about Blade Trinity have shifted predominantly to reports of Wesley Snipes' challenging behavior on set. And this is just one incident where Snipes was made to feel left out. That is why people have enough reasons to consider that he is trying to get blackballed. And now reportedly he is talking about Katt, who is also on the target of getting canceled. Katt Williams has emerged as a prominent whistleblower, shedding light on the hidden realities concealed beneath the glamorous facade of the Hollywood industry. With a relentless determination, Katt continued to unveil startling revelations that have sent shockwaves throughout the entertainment world.
And the fact of the matter is, we watched this nigga get murdered right in front of our own face. And the nigga knew it was finna happen. He told us, and we didn't know.
In addition to the reports of his revelations concerning the alleged conspiracy surrounding Michael Jackson's death, Katt has also been vocal about addressing the portrayal of black actors in feminine attire within the entertainment industry.
Then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay, well.
He has not shied away from discussing controversial topics that some might find uncomfortable, and it appears that his outspoken nature has drawn the ire of certain elements within the industry. There have been numerous incidents that suggest Hollywood may be actively trying to distance itself from Katt due to his uncompromising stance.
Why? Because you know ain't nobody gonna sleep with him. You only got Tiffany Hadish. She been doing comedy since she was 16.
You often hear that truly understanding the inner workings of an industry requires first-hand experience. Comedian Katt Williams recently provided some intriguing insights that shed light on this notion. Williams hinted at significant revelations concerning Tiffany Hadish's career. According to Williams, Hadish's rise to fame may not have unfolded as naturally as she has portrayed it to the public.
Those are just facts, sir.
How many is that total?
9.
So you've done 9
Yes.
filmed comedy stand-up specials.
Without ever getting financed or having a deal.
The seasoned comedian holds the perspective that Hadish might have expedited her ascent within the entertainment industry. If you've ever questioned the authenticity of Hadish's persona, this revelation is not one to overlook. While stories of celebrities leading double lives have surfaced repeatedly, Hadish's journey to the pinnacle appears to be a unique case. Katt Williams left no detail unexplored in his disclosure.
Do you think she wrote Girls Trip Goofball?
Right.
Or do you think that was already a script and they handed it to her? It's up to you, whatever you want to believe.
During a recent appearance on V103's Frank and Wanda in the Morning Show, Williams didn't hold back as he shared his thoughts on several fellow comedians, including Lil Rel Howery, Jared Carmichael, Kevin Hart, and Hannibal Buress. However, it was Tiffany Hadish, the breakout star of Girls Trip, who found herself at the center of most of the criticism.
I'm the introduction to Tiffany Hadish.
Katt Williams, who won an Emmy for his guest role on Atlanta, made an effort to cast doubt on Tiffany Hadish's achievements. He implied that Hadish may not be the author of her own comedic material and questioned whether she has truly established herself as a genuine comedian. He said, "She's been doing comedy since she was 16. You can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Hadish joke. Why? Because she ain't done a tour yet. She ain't done a special. She has not proven the ability to tell jokes back to back for an hour to nobody." Wanda Smith, the host of the show, then stepped in to defend Tiffany Hadish, asserting that Hadish's authenticity endeared her to audiences. In response, Katt Williams raised a provocative question, asking when being real had become a marketable trait. He went on to suggest that the industry's favor toward Hadish might be influenced by her publicly expressed admiration for Brad Pitt. Williams then took the opportunity to give recognition to several other black female comedians, such as Luenell, Melanie Camarco, and Miss Laura, highlighting their talent and contributions to the comedy scene.
Why? Because you know ain't nobody gonna sleep with him. You only got Tiffany Hadish. She been doing comedy since she was 16.
Katt Williams went a step further by suggesting that Tiffany Hadish's success in securing deals and roles in the industry might have been unusually smooth, implying that she may have made certain compromises to attain her status. He also expressed a view that the industry tends to overlook black talent and rarely allows black actors to explore their unique abilities in acting, pointing out a perceived disparity in opportunities compared to their white counterparts.
They gonna let you be a star, Lil Rel, but you ugly. And white people don't believe in ugly stars. They think you have to be somebody that women want to sleep with and men want to be.
It appears that Katt Williams' comments about Tiffany Hadish and her admiration for Brad Pitt were not entirely unfounded. Indeed, Tiffany Hadish has publicly mentioned her crush on Brad Pitt in the past. During an appearance on Live with Kelly and Ryan's post-Oscar show, she discussed her interaction with the Hollywood star. Hadish recalled, "Oh, I just met him in the elevator. He said in 1 year, if he's single and I'm single, we gonna do it." So, you know what that that means. Brad Pitt was standing right next to me, and then Elizabeth's husband was like, "Man, I hope we don't get caught in this elevator." And I was like, "It's gonna be some pretty babies in this elevator if we do." Tiffany had a conversation with Kelly shortly after her appearance at the Oscars, where she presented an award. During their chat, while playing a game of Marry, Date, Dash, the comedian disclosed that she wouldn't choose to marry Brad Pitt. The key point that Williams seemed to emphasize in his expose on Hadish was that her rise in the entertainment industry gained significant momentum after she embraced self-expression rather than objectification.
Because we black, they say, oh, you don't even deserve that. So you get Kevin Hart, Lil Rel, Gerard Carmichael, all in a row, Hannibal Buress, just dudes that no woman would talk to.
This theory indeed holds water, as years before Hadish rose to become one of the industry's prominent figures, she encountered significant challenges. Securing spots in comedy clubs was a struggle for her, and she faced difficulties in landing acting roles as well. She once told TMZ, "I lost everything. All my gigs are gone." Then Hadish was questioned about a lawsuit involving allegations that she and comedian Ari Spears attempted to involve an underage woman and her brother in comedy skits. Spears and Hadish were accused of creating comedy sketches in which an underage girl mimicked an act of OS on a sandwich, and another sketch depicted Spears as a CM with inappropriate fantasies involving her brother.
The Tiffany Hadish thing, has that been worked out at this point?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much? Can we talk about it?
Not at all.
Hadish expressed her relief when the lawsuit was dropped and emphasized her concern for the well-being of the children involved. Following this incident, reports indicated that she faced difficulties finding job opportunities in Hollywood and was essentially blacklisted. However, her situation took a turn when she became intertwined with the Brad Pitt narrative, and her career began to see a positive shift.
Are you and Tiffany still good?
Yeah.
Okay, so she doesn't hold anything against you in terms of...
I mean,
She participated in the whole thing, so it's not like she could, but I'm just saying, you know how people get.
Now, this is just the one thing Katt pointed out. In another interview, this time with Jamal Finkley on his YouTube channel Black Tree, Katt is said to have divulged more about the alleged dress-wearing scheme that you might be familiar with. Katt shared his perspective on the contentious issue of Kevin Hart wearing a dress in his SNL skit, underlining that Kevin wasn't the only one involved in this supposed situation. He claimed that Eddie Murphy and Jamie Foxx were right there beside him, keeping him company in what some have perceived as a controversial practice in the entertainment industry.
Let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress.
Katt highlighted the irony in the fact that a significant portion of the audience found it amusing to witness a black man wearing a dress. He believed that this reaction would not have been the same if the individuals involved were of a different racial background.
If that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress.
Despite Kevin Hart having firmly established his stardom, Katt cryptically alluded to the idea that Kevin must have had his own reasons for taking part in such roles, and he expressed respect for Kevin's choices in this regard.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him.
Williams carefully suggested that he had observed numerous artists encountering similar challenges repeatedly throughout their careers. Given Williams' observations, one might suspect that there could be a discreet effort to undermine the public image of black icons by certain individuals or entities.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn.
In addition to his previous revelations, Williams exposed the existence of a secret society called the Illuminati, which he claimed faces significant opposition from within the black community. The implication here is that The Guardian, by indirectly corroborating his claims and revealing the society's name and some of its prominent members, has lent credence to his assertions about this secretive organization. He said, "It is the most elite club in the world. This is the Good Club, the name given to the tiny global elite of billionaire philanthropists. The names of some of the members are familiar figures: Bill Gates, George Soros, Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, David Rockefeller, and Ted Turner. But there are others too, like business giants Eli and Edith Broad, who are equally wealthy but less well known." While Williams disclosed significant aspects of the agenda he believed to have originated from the elites, he issued a warning to fellow black artists, advising them to exercise caution and be wary of the potential influence or involvement of this secretive club.
It's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung a million times.
While it may sound somewhat exaggerated, the pimp emphasizes that his intended audience should heed his advice because he believes he has a deep understanding of the situation, having allegedly experienced the consequences of this supposed manipulation for many years.
I didn't understand that. They had to sting me a million times. I'm still not going to join, but I respect it a little.
According to Katt, he wasn't the sole individual dealing with challenges and adversity, which is why he felt it was necessary to let go of certain matters for the sake of his own well-being.
I know how much they talked about Martin Luther King, and I know what they end up doing to him. I know this same story about Jesus and a few of my uncles.
After enduring hardships for an extended period, Williams explained that he eventually came to a stark realization. He recognized that his outspoken nature, coupled with his candidness in addressing grievances, had exposed him to intense backlash. Although he hadn't initially anticipated the extent of hostility directed towards him, this experience expanded his perspective. He now comprehends that his actions, which he once considered as truthful but possibly irresponsible, were being manipulated and leveraged against him, with the elusive Illuminati allegedly benefiting from this situation.
That doesn't mean I always make the right decisions, but I am going to stand by what I stand for.
Indeed, Katt, known for his fearless approach, disclosed that he was privy to the true story of Bernie Mac and did not hesitate to share the industry's supposedly closely guarded secrets surrounding this matter.
I know that the people that made money off Bernie Mac didn't like him. They hated his guts.
Katt's revelation about his former idol may come as a surprise to some, but the next revelation is even more shocking. He claimed that Steve Harvey, everyone's favorite, has allegedly sold his soul to Hollywood.
I think Steve Harvey's some stand-up ass man. No, kiss the old girl who owned TV One. He used to kiss how he had to rape.
It's undeniable that Katt Williams is widely regarded as one of the funniest comics of his generation, known for his unfiltered humor and energetic performances in blockbuster stand-up specials. However, despite his talent and ranking among Hollywood's comedy greats, Williams hasn't received the same level of mainstream exposure as some of his contemporaries. One of his supporters said, unlike Kevin Hart, he hasn't taken on leading roles in blockbuster movies, and he doesn't host a show like Steve Harvey. Being hopeless, he once even said, "I'm just going to go ahead and announce my retirement from stand-up. I'm kinda done. I've already discussed it with my kids. I wasn't really going to do it on a Seattle street. I was going to Los Angeles and do it in the offices of ICM or Live Nation." For some time, there was speculation that Williams had been blacklisted from the industry, which led to questions about why he hadn't achieved the same level of success as figures like Steve Harvey. It's worth noting that Williams and Harvey haven't been on good terms for over a decade, and there seems to be a significant reason behind their strained relationship.
To be honest with you, Frankie, I didn't know nothing about this concept. When the promoter told me about it in October, I shot it down, because that ain't how I've ever promoted a show.
To trace the origins of their feud, we need to go back to December 2008 when Katt Williams called out Steve Harvey before a Christmas season show. This incident marked the beginning of their conflict, which has persisted for over a decade. Katt Williams and Steve Harvey have certainly had their share of disagreements with other comedians, and this instance was no exception. Even one of his fans wrote, "Katt is solid at battle comedy. Steve is household, but household doesn't usually mean funny. Household means you're big and funny enough for them to take a bet on you. You won't venture too far off the plantation with your act, and your stature makes you hard to argue against, even if you are wrong. Katt is like an Italian sports car. His humor is fast and maneuverable. He's like Ali, he hits and move. Given a choice, I'd rather fight with Steve more than Katt." Another one added, "I haven't liked Steve Harvey anyway, so this just confirms my feelings. I do trust Katt though. He delivers messages with such wisdom, and I just feel in my gut he's the real deal. He's definitely one of my favorites." Well, it all started when Katt Williams publicly challenged Steve Harvey, asserting that he could dethrone Harvey as the king of comedy during an upcoming New Year's Eve show where they were both headlining.
I was on the Steve Harvey show, and Steve Harvey, who is going to call in at 5:45 and get the record straight.
Reportedly, Jamie Foxx was also involved in this conflict. Foxx, who was working as a radio host at the time, played a clip of Katt Williams dissing Steve Harvey, which likely escalated the feud between the two comedians. "I want to apologize for what's going to happen," Williams said of the joint comedy gig. "But the second that you get on stage, I need you to understand that that's your final time as the king of comedy. Water seeks its own level. You can't stop it, Playboy. It is what it is. So I hope you're ready. I hope you got a team of writers. You're going to need about about 6 or 7 of them. In response to the clip, Steve Harvey called into the radio show and expressed his bewilderment regarding the entire situation.
You know, I've always been on tour with some real monsters, man. I toured with the Kings. You know, I've been on stage with Sid, DL, and Bernie Mac at the same time.
However, on the big night when the event arrived, Katt Williams came out swinging, delivering punches aimed at Steve Harvey's comedy reputation, as well as poking fun at his clothes and hair. Addressing the crowd, Katt Williams likely had some sharp and humorous remarks to make about Harvey during his performance. He said, "Please give it up for Steve Harvey. He's one of the best we've ever had," Williams told the crowd. "But he don't want no parts of this in no shape or form. I don't know why he came out here with all this money y'all spent on these expletive tickets and talked about a lady in the audience for 15 minutes, but won't talk about me the way I getting ready to talk about his expletive made expletive." You see, Katt Williams didn't have fame and fortune handed to him on a silver platter. He had to build his comedic empire from the ground up, starting in Avondale, Cincinnati. He honed his craft by performing stand-up comedy in various venues across the country, from the lively streets of Oklahoma to the vibrant stages of Oakland. Fearlessly, Katt delivered his routines, perfecting his unique style along the way through hard work and dedication.
Like ain't happened. You in the middle of a goddamn meeting. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the movie with you, and then we're gonna go back.
Shifting our focus to Steve Harvey, he is widely recognized as a devoted family man who prioritizes his loved ones. However, Katt Williams reportedly claims that Harvey is merely a fraud, concealing his true self behind a carefully constructed facade for years. According to Katt, opinions about Steve's comedic abilities vary drastically depending on who you ask, adding to the complexity of their relationship and the perceptions of Harvey's public image.
You have been the king of comedy as long as we've had one. Matter of fact, the whole phrase, king of comedy, can be attributed.
Indeed, Katt Williams has gained a reputation not only for his comedic talents, but also as a known whistleblower in Hollywood. He has been vocal about various issues and controversies within the entertainment industry, shedding light on matters that often go unspoken or unnoticed.
Doing in the ATL, the nigga at least excuse himself, go to the bathroom or something.
According to Katt Williams, Steve Harvey's reputation isn't as positive as it may seem to some. Depending on who you talk to, Harvey is either hailed as one of the funniest people on the planet or seen as a celebrity with a less than stellar reputation. Not only Steve's, he had taken a lot of big names who just pretended to be good people, and if we see deeper into their lives, they are not even close to be good people. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.